I got to use my Gnarbox when I was in China, and so far I'm liking it. I'm still trying to find ways where it is most useful in my workflow. Currently, I'm using the iPad Pro to edit on my travels, and right now I have the iOS 13 or iPad OS installed, so getting the Gnarbox kind of defeated my purpose, which is storing files with the files management. Instead of bagging it up to the Gnarbox, then connect to it to grab footage, I can do it straight from my iPad with an SD card reader, so why should I still need this? Well, since I got to use it, here are my thoughts. The iPad is still like a laptop, but more travel friendly and lighter. There are times where I don't want to bring my iPad and I just want to leave it at the hotel. So this is where the Gnarbox comes in. It's small and compact, it's as tall as my phone, and I can throw it in my day bag and it doesn't hurt my back throughout the day. So after shooting whatever event, I can actually back it up right after, where and whenever. I can back it up on a bus, at a meeting, or while I'm walking to lunch. The point is, I don't have to pull out my laptop or my iPad, find somewhere to sit down and back up my footage. Even the little things matter in this case, like I don't have to create folders, drag and drop files, and wait until the whole transfer is done. And worse, if I'm doing all this while I'm walking, we all know that we have to be super careful not to disconnect the SD card or the external hard drive. Next is grabbing footage from someone else. I can grab those few clips with all the benefits I mentioned earlier. I can use the SafeKeep app to get into the SD card, select those specific clips, and move them over to my Gnarbox. I no longer have to borrow and return anyone else's SD card or tell them to upload and send it to me later. I can get all my footage on the field without all the laptop hassle. So being light and efficient is probably the biggest pro of the Gnarbox. Another real life example that happened to me on this trip was, at the end of the day, I got so tired and lazy, I didn't want to pull out my iPad to start backing things up. I just popped out the SD card, put it in my Gnarbox, and just hit one button. After that, I just got ready for bed. David from the locker asked me if I can do proxies on this Gnarbox, and yes, I can transcode while I'm on a go before I start to edit. To some people, they need proxies to start editing because their laptop is just not that powerful. I don't do proxies, so that isn't a huge plus for me, and the Gnarbox can also transcode to ProRes as well. How about when I start editing on an iPad? How's that workflow like versus backing it straight to the source? It is faster to start editing when all the files are locally stored on an iPad. But since Lumafusion works really well with the Gnarbox, it is less of a hassle. The biggest con here is waiting. I have to wait to see the files, I have to wait to preview the files, and I have to wait to download the files. There is a way to lessen your wait time, and that's doing it by hardwired. So just turn the Gnarbox into Ethernet USB mode and connect to the iPad, and you can actually transfer way faster. So instead of waiting 30 minutes wirelessly to download all the clips, I can do all that in 10 minutes. So this is my recommended way to actually start editing on the iPad with the Gnarbox. And once everything is transferred, I just disconnect the Gnarbox and turn it off. If video clips are being transferred over from Lumafusion, isn't it the same thing as backing it up from the SD card reader? So what's the point? The end result, yes, it's going to be transferred over some way, somehow onto the iPad. But the benefits are the one I mentioned earlier, is to back everything up whenever and wherever. All the backing up portion is already done on the field, so I don't have to do anything else when I get back to the hotel and edit. The biggest thing is transferring over clips from the Gnarbox to the iPad, but all the structure, all the file structure is already there, so the whole workflow is a bit easier. I'm still new to this workflow and I'm still trying to find ways to see where it benefits the most. Hopefully in the future, while it's hardwired, we don't have to wait the transfer time from the Gnarbox to the iPad. We can just edit straight from the Gnarbox. If that's the case, that would be so awesome and that would be a huge plus. So that is my first impression and experience using the Gnarbox while I'm out there in China on the field. I will be doing more videos with the Gnarbox, so stay subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.